my wife said it's very fascist. It's like, this isn't normal. It's not normal in North Korea. It's not normal here to take a route that shuts a whole city down and then yell at people if they're like, man, why are you doing this? And then act like we're weird because it's like everybody's waving American flags. Listen, we know we're in America. Do you understand that what the flag symbolizes has basically been killed? You're like, oh, that's extreme. You want to actually follow what the country's founded on and why we're supposed to honor the flag as the symbol. What the flag symbolizes is being killed. And you had all these stores order their employees out, like North Korea, to put their hands over their heart. Just a big spectacle. It's government worship. I mean, they took. Okay, I just can't handle it anymore. Oh my God, and just, I mean, they were so desperate to have a martyr. They now have big parades for dead dogs. And again, if you want to go to the parade, go to the parade. But no, they said, we're going to make you sit in traffic for hours and not get your children. And then we're going to scream at you on the radio. And everyone, like it's North Korea, is going to say, how dare you even question? You don't do that in America. You don't have Amish in America. You don't refuse vaccines. We'll take your kids with no law. That's what I mean, folks. They've now announced they're spying on everyone without warrants. Totally illegal, and they just want you to know they're spying on you without warrants. And I mean, they didn't have police parades like this before. That's what I mean. People are like, well, you ought to think this is a good thing. Really? Why is it new? Why do they do this now? Presidents didn't used to have 100-car motorcades and block off huge areas of cities every time they flew into town. Police didn't used to wear black masks. We didn't used to have checkpoints on our highways. We didn't used to have a government shipping guns into Mexico to blame the Second Amendment. We didn't used to have 10,000+ % increase in pediatric cancers. We didn't used to every public place I go to, there's mentally retarded and autistic and children being damaged by vaccines all around me, everywhere I go. Diabetes, 3,000% increase. We're a cursed nation. And the veneer of it is go out and cry when a cop drives by you don't even know. But when your neighbor's kid gets taken by the CPS for no reason, your neighbor comes for you for help, you're like, I'm sorry, I just can't help you. Mile wide, millimeter deep. All hat, no cattle, man, and I'm tired of it. It's disgusting. And all cultures that are tyrannies are hallmarked by this North Korea type stuff. In North Korea, I was looking it up. If they get somebody killed, they do the same thing for police. I mean, you know, welcome to North Korea of Austin. All right, we're into hour number 2. I basically have pontificated about karma-geddon. I haven't even gotten into it. I have this focused info I want to go over in a focused presentation, but it's just, it's so bad that we have a government that consciously sees us as programmable robots and that they try to manipulate us 24/7. And more and more I realize the awakening and defeating tyranny is going to be about getting people to just recognize that they're being targeted, they're being manipulated, and that the people running things are predatory and do not have their best interest at heart. Does that mean everybody in the system's bad? No. But the major global corporate system is run by the most wicked of the most ruthless of the most degenerate. And it just rolls downhill from that point on. And we've got huge Trayvon Martin news and obviously a bunch of other stuff we got to go over. And just tyranny popping up everywhere. And of course, we launched the national movement to impeach Obama. That video has gone mega viral. I should have been promoting that. I'm devastated right now. It's so crazy. Jim in Ohio. Jim, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hey, Alex. Good to talk to you. I just want to let you know I'm a retired police officer, and I couldn't agree with you more about what's going on with, you know, every time a dignitary comes into town or law enforcement, fireman dies, whatever the case might be, they just make a great big production out of it. And I've been involved on both sides of the police funeral thing, both from being one of the cars in the funeral and being stuck sitting alongside the road waiting as a mile-long procession goes by. And
by the way, this was way over a mile. This was like, at one point they said like 5-6 miles long. I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of stuff. It'd be one, I mean, and then it was the yelling at the public about it when people, I mean, most people didn't even know. I mean, it was just like everything was shut down. Can you imagine a town like Austin when they shut down the 2 biggest roads? I mean, it was, and you know how the public gets, the reckless driving that starts. I mean, it was scary out there because I went out trying to get my son and couldn't get to him. And it was people just driving like maniacs. And there was no police to then even stop them. I mean, can you imagine what this looked like?
Oh, I can just imagine. You know, that kind of thing would take hours to recover from, and who knows how many wrecks, you know, other kinds of incidents may have been caused because of it, as people, you know, get frustrated and try and go other ways and get in a hurry and do things that they wouldn't normally do, but, you know, just out of the sheer frustration of trying to get around something if they're in a hurry to get someplace, who knows. But, yeah, I think it's a vast violation of the people's rights to travel, and it's just another case of the people, the high muckety mucks trying to say, you know, we're in charge and you're going to honor us whether you want to or not.
Well, that's the thing, is it was a giant stunt, and also not being able to get my son, you know, really just showed. And now they have these drills where they come take the kids to a federal center and won't tell the parents where they went. I mean, the government's really showing us, hey, we do what we want.
Yeah, I could see them staging something like that, and at the same time, when the parents can't get there, automatically having the CPS or somebody there to take all the kids and say, well, you didn't get them when you were supposed to, so we took control. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that the people on top are predators. And then the predators want to use the police, the fire department, everybody else that by and large are servants and do a great job in many cases as a shield to make them look good. And just to watch them use this dead officer like this, I mean, it's shameless. And then I don't like having to come out and point this out and go against the hype. But, I mean, it just was a frightening production. I want to ask you, as a retired police officer, I think you said, what your view is of the IRS when we come back. Stay there, policer. I want to ask your view of them saying they're not going to let you travel if you haven't paid your taxes. I mean, that, folks, is directly out of Stalinist Russia. I mean, it doesn't get any more bona fide. And by the way, that's now in the House. It passed the Senate. We'll be back with Jim, then we'll go to Blue, John, Sean, Glenn, and others. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons. Gotten totally distracted, at least I have, getting off into the fact that a police officer, Marine veteran, well-liked fellow, was killed by a crazy man on Xanax who had no criminal record in a Walmart. And I talked about this last week. There's no discussion in the media about the Xanax. Just like we know that the sergeant that killed all those people was in treatment and they've blocked releasing the records, but the word is he was on psychotropics. I mean, most of the time when somebody just mindlessly kills somebody, they're on mind-altering substances, and it's hardly ever PCP, which does cause that as well. It's psychotropics in the same class. So I'm just tired of the hollowness. I'm tired of the fakeness. Now, I'm going to go back to your calls right now, and then coming up, obviously our courthouse source was wrong, but the media had been saying that they weren't going to charge him. But I guess they chickened out and were worried about riots, and so they have charged Zimmerman. And now the mother of Trayvon Martin has come out and said she thinks it was an accident, because now they're learning that he marched in black parades for justice for people and stuff, and was not who the new Black Panther Party that says they want a race war said Zimmerman was. And they're going to use it. Our source was right on that, to go after the Second Amendment. They thought it was going to be some type of gun charge. And they are now announcing it'll be part of the 2012 campaign to restrict the Second Amendment and the right of self-defense off this poor young man's death. So that's coming up. They're banning all over the country. They're banning and restricting garage sales. This is part of shutting down the economy, what's left of it. Last week, DHS raids home to seize deadly hair straighteners. Homeland Security is just taking everything over. These threat fusion centers are illegal. It's illegal to have the CIA involved domestically. They don't care. They just say, yeah, we're watching everything you do now. CIA director. Yeah, all the new appliances have devices that watch and listen to you. I'd tell people that 10 years ago and get laughed at when I had the MIT reports. Just like they had a 1970s MIT report where they said they want to kill 90% of us. Now there's a new report out that finally got coverage. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, okay? I'm not the one that came up with all this. I'm sorry. It's made me, I probably am crazy in a way. I mean, I've gone crazy knowing this information. It's all I think about. I have no life. All right, sorry, I'm going back to your calls. It's just, here's the new article, because I wanted to cover that old article. Green Police, DHS launches environmental justice units. And it's Homeland Security, federal enviro cops. And by the way, they're not going to be out at BP when they're dumping stuff in the ocean, or docks and being dumped by Monsanto. No, it's going to be residential. Of course it is. It's the same model in every country. We know exactly what's coming because it's exactly what the globalists have done in England and Australia and Germany. California is moving to ban single occupancy homes from being constructed. This isn't a game. First, it's your toilets and your light bulbs and your weather stripping. All sounds reasonable. Next, it's how many kids you can have, okay? This isn't a game. I don't know how else I'm supposed to explain this to you. And it's more divide and conquer. This Trayvon Martin thing, the police thing. Let me give a little message to the police out there. The people running this government could care less about you. In fact, they don't like you. They don't like enforcers trained to use force who live in the real world. They want apathetic jellyfish TV heads. That's why the New World Order hates, with a capital H, police and military. I knew this before they released the documents that good police gave me. Federal and state have given me the documents that have been national news over and over again, where they say returning veterans, gun owners, conservatives, libertarians, rural groups, anybody who's self-sufficient. So if they hate farmers because they're self-sufficient, they're natural humans to a certain extent. They're afraid of wild humans, folks. That's how the globalists see us. They say they want us domesticated. Gee, cops, you're part of a macho culture. Most of you didn't join to be bullies. You joined it for excitement, and you want to go after bad guys. I get it. Or you're in the military. You've got an adrenaline fix. You want some excitement. It's a macho culture. I get it. But the point, you like guns, great. You think they like you? No, they don't like you. The eugenicist, pinhead, control freak scientists hate your motorcycle. They hate your Marine Corps tattoo. They hate your granddaddy who was a farmer. They hate you, okay? So when they have these big spectacles about how important you are, and I see the videos, the police all kind of looking, like, man, this is a big deal they're doing here. It's about using you in a psyop for them. This is not about the karma-geddon in Austin. This is about propaganda. All right, I'm ranting. Let me ask you this question, Jim. You were making the point as a police officer. Some stations don't carry that first 5-minute segment. Instead of me interrupting, make your points. And then I want to ask you about the article that was in the LA Times, Reuters, you name it, 2 days ago. In fact, guys, if you have time, pull it up. IRS bill would ban out-of-country travel or revoke the passport. That's right on Nazi Germany, Soviet Russia. Doesn't get any more. I told you, currency controls are coming, capital controls. I've seen it in the airport where a guy's got 6 silver coins, and they try to take them and act like it's illegal. Diamond rings they're now asking about. I mean, this is internal checkpoints. That's what the TSA is, now fanning out on the highways. This is one of the hallmarks. I mean, if you have a crown jewel, the biggest crown jewel, it's cashless society. You've got to be in good steads to travel. Shutting down swap meets, shutting down people selling strawberries on the side of the road. I mean, you want to